Let's go. Streaming data free on the MTN network in South Africa.
This is Omni Sports.
T's and C's apply.
Man City drew with Inter Milan, PSG snuck home, and Arsenal have received some terrible news. But let's start off with Man City. You get to see any of the game last night?
No, I didn't watch much of it. I was watching, when I say I was watching cricket, it was hardly watching. It was just cringing. And you had to call me up and tell me it was an ODI. I thought it was a T20.
No, it was no good. But Man City held at bay by Milan.
Yeah,
Inter Milan, great defending, classic Catenaccio style at the Etihad Stadium. Pep Guardiola gave his thoughts on how he thought the game went.
2 or 3 years and top class team, physical, have all departments, have a good build up with Sommer and Bastoni and all the players, and transition, especially in the first half, that being alone without no pressure to the ball, we lose the ball, and when that's happened against that team, they kill you. But I'm still really satisfied for the game we played and defending how they defend. They are masters of that, so deep. They help each other unbelievably. So you cannot expect to create a lot of chances, but the chance we create the first half, one from Bernardo, and especially second half, so clear. And in this type of games, the difference is that we play much better than the 2 years ago, the final against them in the final Champions League. Yeah, I like everything on my team today, everything. And yeah, a little bit, we prefer to win, but still 7 games, we'll see what happens.
New format, I mean, they'll be fine.
Yeah, well, as Barney Ronay wrote in The Guardian, Rodri was right about one thing, we definitely need few less games like this.
Touche. Yeah, listen, the Man City are never going to get the media on their side, especially with the way it's gone in terms of the FFP charges. I mean, 130 charges that. So the media is always, especially the Brits, are just so good at that. Yeah. So good at that. Pep, obviously, they play Arsenal on the weekend. I think that could be big. That could be title. People are almost saying if Arsenal lose, that's the title. Isn't that crazy that the Premier League's that way? 5
games in, there's not a chance. Liverpool lost to Forest. We're still 4th. It's just daft the way people are talking. And I saw in The Athletic, they were writing about what have the first 4 games taught us. So they've taught you not to make predictions. That's what they should have taught you.
Well, Pep has given his thoughts about the massive clash between his troops and Arsenal this weekend, what many are calling a title decider. Kevin McCallum saying no chance, but here's what Pep had to say.
I don't know the day for Mikel is going to play. I had to read it and adapt it, but it's another unbelievable team. They defend really well. They don't concede chances. They don't concede goals. They are really good in many aspects. They control everything. So it was the biggest challenge. Title contenders the last 2 seasons, they are there, and they will be there for many years because they created that depth squad, a young team. So it's another good test, but they are in September. So I like to see the team. Many things we are better than the past. We are reading better than the past what we have done it, but yeah, we'll see what happens Sunday and the next games.
Pep seems to agree with you. It's only September.
No. What did Nas Birch used to say there? The Currie Cup's not won in July. Currie Cup is rugby for those people in the rest of Africa.
Yes. It's a competition that used to matter, stopped mattering. I think it matters again now that the Sharks have won. So basically, Sharks fans are like Kaizer Chiefs or Man United fans. Back in the day, there were those guys. Now they're struggling to realize that actually you're just
the Wenwees.
Yeah, Wenwees. I like that. Is that when we were good?
When we won.
Yes, very, very true there. In the other game in the Champions League, the big one of the evening, PSG got the result in the end against Girona. Former Tottenham goalkeeper Paulo Gazzaniga with the own goal to give the Parisians that victory in the last minute. Absolute. I mean, what a Spursy move by Gazzaniga to consider a 90th minute own goal.
At least somebody from Spurs scored. I mean, there's always, you have to look at the bright side sometimes, yeah. But a terrible. I mean, how do you feel? Mind you, having said that, in my football career for Rhodes University Old Boys, I scored 1 goal, and it was a cracker, top left own goal.
Oh, yeah, you and so that's good for PSG. Luis Enrique would want that start because there's big pressure going on there, and they've just had to pay Kylian Mbappe £55 million in a settlement. unbelievable. All right, let's go to those other results. Bologna and Shakhtar Donetsk played to a 0-0 draw. Sparta Prague beat RB Salzburg 3-0. Celtic 5-1 against Slovan Bratislava. 5-1. My God, Celtic. Bruges lost at home to last year's finalists, Borussia Dortmund 3-0. Obviously, Inter Milan against Man City 0-0, and then PSG 1-0. By the way, there's Champions League tonight. A lot of people going, oh, it's Wednesday, or it was Wednesday night. No, doesn't matter. New format, more Champions League. Let's make more money, the billionaires say. And Arsenal will kick off their Champions League campaign against Atalanta tonight. Arsenal manager Mikel Arteta gave his thoughts about the clash tonight.
A tough place to come. They built something amazing here, and it was a beautiful story what they achieved last season. But for us as well, it's a new season, and we really want to kick on the right way.
I think Arsenal fans should be grateful for what they've got. You know, I'm a proponent of stability in my personal life. I think I've seen when I have stability, things tend to go better. I can sort of just get on with it. Is Arsenal for so long were all over the place. You know, after Wenger, they lost that sort of fatherly, patriarchal figure, and it unraveled for 10, 15 years, I would say, until Arteta came along, and he seems to have that steel, you know? Like when he was a player, he was the captain. Everton, even at Arsenal when they got him, he's clearly a leader of men, but he's also got some steel. You can see he's not a guy to muck around with. And Mesut Ozil found that out, right? Yeah. Was like, okay, I think I'm that guy. Oh, get out of here. We will like null and void your contract right now. So Arsenal fans should be really grateful for what they've got there.
Yeah, I mean, as the song goes, you don't know what you've got until it's gone. Oh. And he is, I think he's a special coach, just not because of the fact that Arsenal have been challenging for the title, but the fact that he's built a cohesive team. And I think that's what Pep realised he lost whenever he lost him as an assistant. He's the glue that holds it all together, and that's what you need as a coach.
0788777716. Would love to hear your thoughts on Mikel Arteta and what he's got cooking in terms of the Gunners and that stability there. Another thing that something like Arteta brings, especially with these big clubs, you know, we often think of, I mean, you're just a fan of Liverpool. I'm just a fan of Chelsea, whoever may be just a fan of Everton or whoever it may be, is that he's really good for like the market price, you know, because if there's one thing we've seen with the markets is they love stability as well. So his Stan Kroenke won't love him just for the results on the pitch. It's like, as a PR face, Arteta is brilliant because he comes out, he says the right things. He's not you know, he defends his club, as you've seen. I mean, he's happy to whinge on the side of, so he's a firebrand, but then when he comes out, he's really sort of statesman-like, and that matters in terms of the value of the company. So I think that's another side of having these and there's very few of those guys, right? Yeah. There aren't many like statesman-like managers that are brilliant coaches, and he's one of those. I think Arsenal fans be very, very grateful for what you've got, because Liverpool for so long couldn't replace the Shankleys and these kinds of people. Chelsea struggled to replace Mourinho. Man United, I mean, after Fergie, it's been a circus, right?
I mean, he is Arsenal. I mean, he's a club man. He played for them. He captained them. And you need that. So it's a bit like Jurgen Klopp came in and became Liverpool. At the moment, Mikel Arteta is Arsenal.
You know, I watched a great interview about Jurgen Klopp, and they were debating, I can't remember who it was some bigwigs in football, but I thought they made a great point, was why Jurgen was so successful, and I think why Arteta is so successful, is that Jurgen got a hold of the whole club. He got a hold of the city, and he got the city on board. And with these types of clubs is you're not just managing the dressing room. That's silly to think that. Is you've got to get a hold of, number one, the city, because Arsenal, for those who don't know, that's a London club. Like you go there, is they were the first club really, along with Crystal Palace, when you think of black players. Like, so Arsenal are not just a football club; they're culturally relevant to the essence of sort of the Caribbean immigrants that come into London. That's why they were Fashiono and the great Ian Wright. They were very comfortable in the 80s having black players. You know, when the rest of England wasn't really, but Arsenal have been known as that club. So. It pains me. It makes me sick as a Chelsea fan. It makes me absolutely sick. But greatness is greatness. And Mikel Arteta, if you let him keep cooking, I think you're onto something special here. But problem
Odegaard.
Problem alert.
Dun, dun, dun.
Oh, no. Martin Odegaard. The Gunners have just found out last night that Norwegian talisman Martin Odegaard will be out for longer than they'd hoped. It looks like ankle ligaments. And here's what Arteta had to say about his Norwegian talisman.
Yeah, after a recent scan, the scan showed there's got some damage, especially in one of the ligaments in the ankle. So we're going to miss him, yeah.
Can you give us a rough guideline?
I don't want to do that because I'm not a doctor, but yet it's something quite significant, so we're going to lose him for a while. He's our captain, he's one of our biggest players without a doubt. He's been one of the most consistent players in the last 2 or 3 seasons, and this is who it is, and our identity as well is very related to his way of playing and his way of behaving. We're going to have to deal with that, and that's a great test for the team as well, how capable we are to show maybe a different face, and the fact that we have other players and other options that can be still very effective.
Yeah, big loss.
I am not a doctor. I am not a doctor. But he knows exactly how long he's going to be out for, but he's just not going to say it yet. There's no transparency there. But I love that phrase. I am not a doctor.
The humility of the man, but big loss. I mean, Odegaard's been top 3, top 4 players in the Premier League the last 2 seasons. He's been, and he's also. I loved what Arteta said there. The way he behaves. I'm big on that. I'm big on, if you play sport, all of us, it doesn't matter who we are, no matter what age we are. You can be 60, you can be 20. You know when we gather, and I can only speak for men, I can't speak for women. When we gather, it's like, I remember in high school, in our rugby team, the coaches would pick their captain. And I'll never forget this. In our biggest derby game in under 14, we were like under pressure, it was raining, we were on our line, and like this guy who the coaches had chosen as captain tried to tell us, and I believe it or not, I was slightly on the front foot, and I had an opinion even then, Kev. Wow. But I said you need to be quiet, and I went to the guy we chose as our captain, and I said, what are we doing? We will live and die, and we were 14. But we followed this guy because he was just that guy. I don't know how to explain it. Some people are that guy, and Odegaard is that guy. He's the guy where, these top successful dressing rooms, they run themselves. The coaches, that's why Fergie will tell you, Vidic and then Keane is the best he's ever had. And they hate each other. Roy Keane and Alex Ferguson can't stand each other. But Fergie said, Keane's the best one I've ever got. You know why? Is he held the dressing room together, and he made sure none of that malarkey ever got to Fergie, and he ran it. And Odegaard feels like that type of guy, like just a grown-up, right?
Yeah, I mean, you do need that guy. Even Fabinho for Liverpool, James Milner was sort of a de facto captain, Henderson. Yeah, no, he was the guy. And Keane, I mean, Odegaard is basically a skinny Roy Keane.
Yeah.
without the abrasiveness.
Without the Irish edge. But a brilliant player and a talismanic figure for Arsenal. And it's a problem because he gets involved. He's got incredible work rate. And then his numbers are there as well. He's getting you over 10 assists and 10 goals a season. I mean, we're getting into Frank Lampard sort of territory there. You lose that, that's a big loss. I don't know if Arsenal can replace that, and could that affect their Champions League and league hopes? 078877716. Will Odegaard's loss affect the championship race with Man City, and will it hurt Arsenal in the Champions League? A quick one, Orlando Pirates obviously won 2-1 last night. We're not going to celebrate that because big clubs don't celebrate what they're supposed to do,
But all the good teams in black win, don't they? Liverpool wearing black. Here come the men in black, man.
Yes. Will Smith, great film. Great film. You can win your share of 50,000 rands worth of cash by listening out to our show's special keyword. Collect that keyword and listen next hour to Brad Jakes and then to Onankosi, and they'll give you their keywords. Then WhatsApp them to 0788777716. Collect them all and enter the Omnisport cash competition. On the other side, we'll discuss a disgusting performance by the Proteas.
Listen live and on demand.
Welcome to Omnisport.